I'm still searching for a heart. All right, Dan. We got sports. Man, we got sports coming at you today. We got, basically the World Series and then a bunch of juicy stories tonight. So why don't you sit back and relax while I share this mess around, and then we'll get to it. Currently, the bottom of the fifth, the Tampa Bay holding on to a 1-0 lead. The pitching's been great for the Rays tonight, but you just feel like maybe those Dodger bats are going to explode once the starter is finished. We will see. Bellinger's got a 1-0 count now with one down. Nobody on. And we'll update you as best we can. My attention's a little bit divided, but it ain't that divided. It ain't never that divided. I can you know the word that I'm thinking of. Lucky I'm not chewing gum. We wouldn't have a show at all. Can barely walk and chew gum. Let's see here. We got Stephanie Lindley. We got Rosie Williams. I know she's rooting for those Dodgers. If it wasn't for Lynette Miller, I really wouldn't care who won this thing. I am proclaiming myself a bandwagon Dodger fan just because of Lynette Miller. Let's get this thing shared around, shall we? Let me see what we got going on here. Looks like a 1-1 count now. And here comes the delivery to Bellinger. One down, and he swings and fouls it back to the screen. That'll be a 1-2 count. The Dodgers have been chasing a lot of high cheese tonight, man. Really. I mean, I've been kind of surprised. I don't know why. That should surprise me, but it just seems like that's what's going on. That's what it seems like to me. I'm just saying. It's all I'm just saying, So we've got the World Series. We'll keep you apprised of that little by little. And then also, we got some big, juicy sports stories tonight. I mean succulent, giant, juicy sports stories. We got, let's see, a 2-2 count. One down. Bottom of the fifth. Nobody on. We gotta get that done. Bingo, bango, jingo, jango. I'll get to your comments in just a bit outside a second here. So 2 down now. Bellinger obviously a swing and a miss. And that'll bring up Taylor. Let's see if he can make a little noise. One more group on Facebook to share to Bazinga. There we go. And now our Twitter posting, which hopefully won't take very long. And then I'm going to get to your succulent comments. All right, here we go. Come on. Load up for me, Twitter. Come on. Okay, here comes the delivery. That's way high and outside. 1-0 the count. Okay, live streaming, sports talk. Let's see here. World. Oh, come on, man. I type faster than the space bar allows sometimes. World Series, MLB, NFL. I'll just put MLS in there for grins. Get them beans on Rosie. Anybody else got anything here real fast? Okay. Let's tweet. Let's just tweet. Why don't I read your comments during the actual program? Wouldn't that be professional? Of course it would. 1-1 now to Taylor. 2 down, nobody on. All right. Well, look here. Kaplan and crew. Reposted. Yeah, brother. All right. Okay. let's go ahead and do the show, and then I'll read your remarks during the actual program. Like I know what I'm doing. How about that? Here we go.
Tom was a white male. Always invited to the cookout.
Always.
But he spit straight hot fire. Okay? You said who is the best commentator on Facebook Live? Tom.
Because he spit hot fire.
Because he spit hot fire.
Yo, he even got the last name. Gulley, and let me tell you this too. Tom potato salad good.
No raisins.
It ain't bland. No raisins. No raisins.
I don't care who owned the Chiefs. I hate it here. Make me sick. My allergy. Puke every time. Blah, like that. Puke.
Well, you're a goalie. You're supposed to be like that.
Somebody owned the Chiefs. We go to Florida and I get the money.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
Let me answer that. You know, that is an absolute crock of You know, you people in the news media, all of you dwell on some negative piece of like that. And I don't know how Steve feels about it, but it just and you don't have to bleep one single word of this.
That it doesn't work for me. I gotta have more cowbell.
Hi, I'm Jim Harbaugh of the Indianapolis Colts, and I recommend that you wear a helmet while listening to the show.
Oh, yeah, you better wear a helmet tonight. Hello? Can I have my, thank you. Sometimes the person that produces this show needs a little talking to. I wanted my adult film sounding opening music bed. It wasn't there. Anyway, you better wear a helmet tonight. We got Game 6 of the World Series. At the end of 5, the Rays leading 1-0. We'll keep you posted there. I will tell you, man, we got juicy sports stories for you tonight. My name's Tom Gulley. This is the Unnecessary Sports Show I decided to do. In our YouTube chat room tonight, we got Stephanie Lindley from Nashville. She is not chopped liver. Rosie Williams is here. Get them beans on, Rosie. I'm going to tell you. Stephanie Lindley is laughing. I declared myself in our little pre-show as a bandwagon Dodger fan. Yes, but an official bandwagon Dodger fan. Morty Vickers says, burn. Ha ha ha. Stephanie's got her tea brewing. And Morty Vickers says, Rosarania has been clutch this postseason with 10 over the fence. 2 for 2 tonight with a solo homer in the first. Yeah, he's broken a lot of the records for postseason hits and bases and all that sort of thing. Stephanie Lindley says, more cowbell. Can you ever have too much cowbell? I don't think so. Stephanie Lindley says, brown chicken, brown cow. Morty Vickers, Joe Buck is getting worse. He's really starting to be too much of a company man than a commentator. No actual opinions anymore. Well, I was having a discussion with the Wolf the other day. And not that anybody's claiming he's as good as his dad, Jack. But man, he is about as average, plain. I mean, he seems like a nice guy. I've seen him on Brockmire. And he seems funny. I don't have anything against him. He's not bad. He's smooth. I'll give you that. He is smooth. But is he bringing anything extra to the party? I don't know, man. I don't get excited about the notion of him calling a game. Does he steward the game well? Sure he does. Does he know his stuff? Yeah, he does. But see, this is my pulse. It's not quickening to the thought of, oh boy, Joe Buck's doing a game. Rosie Williams says, Dodger bats just can't get around tonight. Well, here's what I think. I think that once the pitching they've got in there now is out, they're going to start getting deeper into the rotation, and maybe those Dodger bats will come to life an inning or two from now. What they have to worry about is obviously the Rays bats coming to life a little sooner. I'm glad they got Gonsolin out early. He just did not have good stuff tonight. I'm telling you, he just didn't. And I think if they'd have left him in, it would have been bad news for the Dodgers. Just my opinion. We're in the top of the sixth right now. Nobody down. 0-2 count currently. And so we'll keep you abreast. Although what one breast is going to do for anybody, I don't know. But we'll keep you abreast of developments as they happen. 0-2 count, and here comes, it's in the dirt. 1-2. Anyway, so we got some juicy sports stories. I'm going to run through them real quickly so nobody leaves. The Cowboys have traded one of their defensive ends to the Lions for a draft pick right in the middle of the season. Smart. Just one breast. Yes, just the one. This is big from the world of soccer. I mean, a few years ago, Barcelona ruled the world. Well, Barcelona's president and executive board have resigned. And frankly, they should. I'm going to go off on this one. Des Bryant has joined the Ravens practice squad. Meanwhile, Eric Reed has declined an offer to join Washington's practice squad. And in more Cowboy news, I got 3 Cowboy stories here, kind of. Jerry Jones kind of got upset today during an interview about leadership on the team, and then apologized afterwards. So, you know, I just, and in case you're wondering, yes, I will be doing my Jerry Jones impersonation during that portion of the program. Why don't we get into these stories? Boy, oh boy, what's going on? Hold on a second. Middle of the, that's not right. Come on, man. Get my toy. Top of the 6th, nobody out right now. All right. All righty, let's get into this first Cowboys story. Morty Vicker says, wait, what? Is this true? Are you talking about the Des Bryant thing? Yeah. The Dallas Cowboys traded veteran defensive end Everson Griffin to the Detroit Lions for a conditional draft pick, they announced today. Terms of the conditions have not been announced, but multiple sources tell ESPN that Dallas received conditional 6th-round draft pick in 2021 that could become a 5th-rounder. Griffin gives Detroit another pass rushing option to shore up one of the biggest holes in its defense, while Dallas saves a little more than $3 million against the cap. The Cowboys had talked with a number of teams about a possible deal for Griffin in recent weeks. In August, he signed a 1-year deal with the Cowboys worth $6 million with a $3 million base salary and a per-week roster bonus worth $187,500. In 7 games, he had 2.5 sacks, 14 quarterback pressures, and 21 tackles in 281 snaps. Trade of Griffin opens up playing time for Randy Gregory, who had just 6 snaps of action against Washington this weekend, as well as potentially rookie Brandley Ane, who was inactive for the first time last week. 32-year-old Griffin was in his first season in Dallas after playing 10 with Minnesota, becoming one of the NFL's better pass rushers. And there you go. COVID-19 protocols mean Griffin's first game for Detroit won't be until November 8th when the Lions play in his old stadium in Minnesota. The Lions are desperately in need of help on the defensive line. And why the Cowboys are getting rid of defensive players on the line in the middle of this particular season would indicate to me they have waved a white flag. They're just packing it in 6 games in. So we'll see about that. And that soccer story I told you about, you guys, I just don't, really, Barcelona? Are you kidding me? Josep Maria Bartomeu has resigned as Barcelona's president today rather than await a fans' vote of confidence on his future at the club. Rest of the board of directors have stepped down alongside him, and an election will be scheduled within the next 90 days to appoint a new president. It's a thought-out, serene, informed decision to resign, Bartomeu said in a televised speech. Temporary management board will oversee the day-to-day running of the club until a new executive board is appointed. Bartomeu opted to leave rather than ask club members to vote on his future after the debate with local government in Catalonia on whether voting in person would be safe in the current pandemic. More than 20,000 supporters signed a petition this month for him to be removed as president. That triggered a referendum on his position at the club. However, that vote's no longer necessary. Victor Font, Juan Laporta, and Jordi Roche are some of the candidates expected to run in election to be his successor. Let's see here. Let's get to the part where, here you go. Cracks emerged between Bartomeu and the players, particularly Lionel Messi. Bartomeu stood firm when Messi wanted to leave Barca this past summer, with the forward accusing him of lying, then criticizing Bartomeu's running of the club when he announced he would rather stay than pursue legal action to get out of there, basically. Gerard Piqué, straight up punk, was also critical of him. So there you go. He was hoping to see out his mandate, which ran until 2021, and so it's pretty unusual for a club this big, arguably the biggest club in the world, to just say we're blowing it up and we're starting it over. Morty Vickers says it's a building year is the go-to, Tom, for NFL fans of terrible teams. Straight up punk. Yeah, he's a straight up punk. He's not Corey Baird level straight up punk, but he is, of course, a straight up punk. Maybe in the juiciest story of the night, the one that's going to make me laugh and laugh and laugh. Dez Bryant is back in the NFL. Baltimore Ravens signed the 3-time Pro Bowl wide receiver to their practice squad, apparently not needing the highest drop rate in the league immediately. They're going to let him practice to do that. Bryant has been out of the league for 2 years. He appeared to acknowledge the deal in a tweet Tuesday. My emotions are running high now. I'm thankful I can't stop crying. Man tears aren't going to help you catch the ball, Des. Sorry. They're not going to help you separate. They're not going to help you run a proper route. They won't even help you do the one thing you can actually do, and that's go up and get a jump ball in the end zone. But other than that, I don't know. Biggest question is when Bryant will suit up for the Ravens. Baltimore's wide receivers rank last in the NFL in receptions and receiving yards. So Bryant is obviously a great addition. Continue that tradition. In addition, Bryant might lead to a high-profile reunion on December 3rd when the Ravens play host to the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday Night Football. Bryant starred for the Cowboys for 8 seasons. Blah, 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 blah. Obviously, that's kind of like an OG type guy, Ravens tight end Mark Andrews said when asked about Bryant today. He's been around the league for a long, long time. Not that long. I mean, Jason Witten's still in the league, for crying out loud. He's actually followed me on Twitter a year or two ago, so I'm excited to meet him, and I'm excited to hopefully be around him and just learn. This marked Bryant's second workout with Baltimore in 2 months. When Bryant left in August without a contract, he was told to improve his conditioning. Maybe his pet monkey can help him with that. Yeah, he's got a pet monkey. Brother. Bryant is attempting to become the second Pro Bowl wide receiver to miss 2 full seasons, then return to the NFL since the 1970 merger, according to the Elias Sports Bureau research. Josh Gordon was the first. He hasn't played in games since December 2017, and there we go. They waived Marcus Gilchrist, a safety from the practice squad, to make room for Dez. Let me tell you something right now. This is going to be an abject failure. They're looking for him to be a possession-type receiver. He had the highest drop rate in the league. Not once, many times. In addition, he does not have the speed to separate. In addition, he can't run a route. I'm sorry. He had several great years, but he went into retrograde and never came back. Okay, by the way, he's that old school wide receiver that's all about him. He's a T.O., he's a Chad Ochocinco, he's one of those. And I don't know what else to say. How old is he now? He's only 31. You get this. He was 29 when he left the league. So, look, I got to see the Dez Bryant show up close and personal. And look, I mean, when I say these things, he may be a great guy, a nice person, etc. But man, I'm telling you. Here, let's take a look, shall we? Shall we take a look? Incidentally, they went to him a lot in those years when he was, what's the word I'm looking for? Viable. And yeah, he got numbers, but were they worth? I mean, career, 113 games, 531 receptions, 7,459 yards, a 14-yard a catch stat for receiving, 73 touchdowns. You can't argue with that. That's a Cowboy record. All right. But you start looking at his yards of receiving. Now, his first year, 561. Second year, almost 1,000, 928. And you had a 1,382. You had a 1,233. You had a 1,320. Half a season in 2015, so 401, then 796, then 838. And that was in 13 and 16 games respectively. But the drop rate, I mean, as many times as he was targeted, incidentally, 3, 8, and 6 touchdowns. There you go. I don't know what else to say. His catch percentage, that's receptions divided by targets. 61, 61, 66, 58, 64, then 43, 52, and 52. If the guy's only going to catch the ball half the time you throw it to him, today's NFL, I don't think that's going to be something out of it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying when I'm saying what I'm saying. His career catch percentage is 58.4. His drop rate, okay? Targeting is one thing. Because you can overthrow a targeted receiver and he don't drop the ball, okay? The drop rate was amazing. Look into it. I have. So good luck, Baltimore. Let's see if he gets off the practice squad. He probably will. But I don't see it. The Ravens, although last in those categories for wide receivers, catches and yards this year, they're 5-1. You really need Dez Bryant, do you? You really need him. Is he really the guy you need? With Lamar Jackson, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, is Yak? Okay, hold on a second. Morty Vickers says, your bias is showing, Tom. Yeah, my bias against his last 3 seasons' numbers. Yeah, I don't deny that. He's been great over the top, but meh. He's great, and I'll be the first to say this. If you throw a jump ball in the end zone, he will go up and get it. He's bigger than most of the guys guarding him. He's physical. That's what he's good for. Maybe that's why they've got him in there. Let me see. Let me see if I can find that stat for you real quick, Marty. Dez Bryant yards after completion. There we go. What's his yak? I want to know his yak. See if I can find his yak. Career. I'm not seeing a yards after completion number here. I'm not seeing a yards after completion. Career summary log split situation. Let me see if I can find it somewhere else. I don't think Pro Football Reference had it. Let me double check on that though. Let's see. Yards per reception. First downs. Yards per target. His yards per target, his last 3 seasons, 5.6, 8.3, 6.3. That's just awful. That's just terrible. I'm not finding his yards after catch anywhere quite yet. Let me see if I can find it. Stats, player profile, advanced football stats and metrics. Let me see what we got here. Slowing down my camera, which is appropriate for Des Bryant because he's slowing down too. Medical history report. I don't care about that. Fantasy points. Medical history. This isn't advanced player. Nothing. Fantasy points. Target share. Snap share. Target distance drops. Let's see here. Fantasy points. Target premium. Yards per target. I got that already. Yards per target. Catchable target rate 74. He's dropping more area. Yards after catch. 2 per target. Number 32 in his last season. So 32nd in the league, 2 yards after catch. I'll go back to 2016, see what I get here. It was number 66 that season. You don't get a lot of yards after catch with Des Bryant. Maybe on some of those breakaway long ones. Morty Vicker says abysmal at best in the later years. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're not going to get much out of them. Maybe they're not paying much. Maybe they figure, hey, we're not shelling out a lot of money, so who cares? But that's what you got going on there with Des Bryant. I mean, sorry. His half-life is over. It's over. Come on now. Oh, yeah. Thank you, stupid toy computer. Still 1-0, bottom of the 6th. 1 down. Hold on, I'm refreshing my screen. It's top of the 6th. Nobody out. I can't believe that. Hold on. I've got bottom of the 6th here with 1 down. So on TV, the toy computer has something different. I'll just let you know, Eric Reed declined Washington's practice squad offer. Apparently, some of the coaching staff at Washington had, interactions with him before, and they were hot to get him. But he's like, practice squad for my career at this point? I don't think so. So he turned it down. Morty Vickers says he's definitely been a clutch over-the-top completion player, but definitely not in the top 20 in the long play after touch player. Well, he has been that, but that was 5 years ago. Because his last 3 were terrible, and he's been out for 2. So that was 5 years ago. Incidentally, they went to him a lot. Do you see that happening in Baltimore? I don't. I do not. Now, maybe Lamar Jackson gets him a little bit more coverage. Maybe Lamar Jackson gets him a bit more open on play action. But or a rollout play, I don't know. Maybe he can be useful to them, but I'm telling you right now, if you're looking for him to be a possession receiver, which is what they said, you're in big trouble. He doesn't hang on to the ball. He's not great running routes. He's not great over the middle. You know, the routes people are running now, those 8-10, he ain't good at that. Can't get separation. As physical as he is, he's not really good at blowing people off at the line or fighting off being chucked at the line. It's not, I don't know. I'm just saying. Dodgers on second and third right now. 1 down. and they're talking with their mitts over their faces, so you know something's going on. Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones had a terse exchange during his weekly radio segment today, but that was when he was asked whether the team had a leadership void. Jones became curt on his appearance with the Shan and RJ show on 105.3 The Fan, as one of the hosts attempted to clarify the question. I know RJ choppy a little bit. He's not a bad guy. Well, just shut up and let me answer, Jones said while interrupting Shan Sharif. No, he doesn't see a leadership void. As Sharif attempted to reframe the question about what Jones sees when he walks into the locker room, Jones said, "You're not asking me that. I gave you the answer. When I go into the locker room, there's no leadership void in my eyes. Now there's your answer. Let's move on." Jones later apologized for the exchange. He's frustrated with the Cowboys' 2-5 record, as well as the fact that multiple players are out for the season due to injuries, including quarterback Dak Prescott, tackles Tyron Smith and La'el Collins, and tight end Blake Jarwin. He has noted in his past 2 radio appearances that the Cowboys have roughly 40% of their salary cap not on the field due to injury. Jones was asked how much blame he deserves as general manager for the Cowboys' record. Oh boy, this ought to be good. As much as you give me when you're talking about how great the talent is, I think you basically set up that there's a joint effort, has been forever. And it is a joint effort. To have a lot of input for some of the best teams in terms of opinions, in terms of deciding what to do. Have lived a life of being able to determine when there's too much input, but don't confuse the ultimate decision with just a single-minded decision. That's not the way it works. Never has been that way. Anyway, says he anticipates some personnel changes, but he was not asked to elaborate. The NFL trade deadline is November 3rd. He did back head coach Mike McCarthy on multiple occasions, and he basically is giving McCarthy a pass, which is not, unfair because of the loss of the quarterback and the injuries. It's his first season. McCarthy made the playoffs in 9 of his 13 seasons with the Green Bay Packers, made it to the NFC Championship game 4 times, and won a Super Bowl. So, aside from the injuries, his first season with the Cowboys has been affected by the lack of an off-season program, full training camp, and preseason games due to the coronavirus. And then there's just a lot of other excuses from Jerry Jones. Dodgers score again. All righty. All right, then. Are these not juicy sports stories? I think these are pretty juicy, if you ask me. I mean, I'm just saying, I think these are pretty juicy. These are pretty juicy sports stories. You know what I mean? These are pretty juicy. So Dodgers are up 2-1 now. Snell pulled from the game. I don't know if I backed that decision. Now, how can it give me the right score and then go back to the crappy one? Stupid toy computers. Great. I'll just do the ESPN. Worthless. Absolutely worthless. Okay, 2-1, 1 down, 0-1. Dodgers with a runner on first. And now goes to a 1-1 count. There we go, bottom of the fifth. There we go. Let's back up the thing. Let's just see our comments in our fabulous YouTube chat room. Morty Vickers says, same thing is happening with T.Y. and the Colts, just not getting loose or making the plays he used to. Dolores Colbert says, Rays error, Dodgers score. Morty Vickers says, on the other side of the offense, Old Man Gore is not looking terrible for being in the twilight of his career for the last 3 years, or so I thought. Dolores Colbert says, Dodgers score again. So that's how we get that 2-1 score. Did somebody, I'm not going to mention who, say after the starter leaves, they're going to have to go to the bullpen, into that rotation deeper, and maybe those Dodger bats will come alive. I think somebody said that at the outset of the show. I'm not going to say who, because I'm humble, and I would never, in a grandiose or gregarious fashion, rub it in that I said exactly what is happening now would be happening Now, I would never do that. That's just not me. Let's go a little deeper into some of the leagues and see what we can do. And the Tua Tagovailoa era begins. I got to tell you, I think this decision to bench Fitzmagic and put Tua in is absolutely moronic. If Fitzpatrick was having a bad or even marginal season, I would agree with it. It is completely off the charts a bad idea because this guy is not another Peyton Manning. He is not the kind of guy he's not another Dan Marino. He's not one of those guys. Morty Vickers says, it was me, Tom. I said that. Well, you didn't type in the chat room. No, I'm the guy that said that. It was me. Once again, I have correctly predicted exactly what is happening right now. That was my prediction merely 35 minutes ago. And now it's occurring. Would you like me to predict something else? I will. Tomorrow night's NFL game? You know what the score is going to be? I know what the score is going to be before the game even starts. Be 0-0. It's the way it always is before the game even starts. All right. Anyway, I'll tell you what. Well, there's no real good stories in the NFL bin that I haven't already covered. But except for this one, I really don't think benching Fitzmagic. If Fitzmagic was playing poorly, do it, sure. If the Dolphins were just having the worst season of all time, do it, sure. Morty Vickers says Fitzmagic has the beard of the gods, so he wins all things that have ever been won. Exactly. The Dolphins are 3-3. I think even an objective-minded person can say the Dolphins are doing better than they should be doing. And if Fitzmagic's a part of that, great. I think this Tua move is one of these things where some of these coaches, they try to outsmart the game. They try to show how cute they are. They try to show, hey, we've got it. Hey, you don't, but we. That's going to end up being a bad decision. Bad. You just wait and see. And by the way, when Tua does reach his full potential or he hits his stride, I don't think it's going to happen this year. But next year, the year after, he's not going to be an Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to be a Drew Brees. He's not going to even be the kid at San Diego. Okay? That's not what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at a serviceable quarterback that from time to time can play really well. You know who we're going to be looking at? We're going to be looking at Dak Prescott on a worse team. That's what we're going to be looking at. It's terrible? No, he's not going to be terrible, but he isn't going to be worth what they're doing to Fitzpatrick and what Fitzpatrick could do this season with them. Now look, 6 games into the season, you go 4 more, and if they're not 5-5, if they're 4-6, then maybe do it. But right now, bad move. I wouldn't even do it later on. But right now, bad move. If in the offseason somebody's willing to give you something for Fitzpatrick, then do it. And make him your guy. Give him all the mop-up time you want. But boy, oh boy. Morty Vickers says if they had 12 Fitzies, the season would be over in week 1. Everyone would forfeit weeks in advance. Yes, the beard of the gods would scare them off. 2 down, runner on first, 2-2 count. Here comes the delivery. It's wheel sunny, just a bit outside. All right. I guess we can check out MLB real quick. Boy, I was loving these juicy stories, but that Tua thing, I don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but there you go. Game 3 of this World Series, least watched World Series game ever. I'm assuming that's television. Kershaw has set a postseason record for strikeouts, by the way. Morton is pondering his potentially starting Game 7, if indeed the Rays can pull this one out. And at the end of 6, LA 2, Rays 1. I'll tell you what, you get to Game 7, Mr. Morton, good luck to you, but you're pitching against Walker Buehler. And if he has half the stuff he had the other night, it's going to be lights out. I think Buehler's the best pitcher in the World Series, maybe in the whole of baseball. Morty Vickers says if Fitzy was a coach in the league, wouldn't be able to play for the salaries teams would be paying to play for the coaches. Yeah. I'm telling you. And Fitzpatrick, has he been classy about this or what? I mean, I liked how he expressed himself, but then said, but at the end of the day, I got to sit in rooms with this guy. I got to sit on Zoom. I've got to help him be good. And boy, that would be a tough one to swallow. That would really be a tough one to swallow. But he's done it, I think, with class. And, man, he's being done dirty. He is being done dirty. Anybody got an idea of who Fitzpatrick could play for next year? Next year. Does a Denver pick him up? Does a New York Jets pick him up? If as some people say, they're trying to maybe get something out of Darnold. I don't know. I'm just asking questions. Just asking questions. Who would he be good for? Not the Bears. They got Foles. Solve their problem. Beard's life, Beard's Jesus, Beard's his life. Hashtags from Morty Vicker. Denver needs that quarterback problem solved. And Fitzpatrick is getting up there. I'll be the first to admit that. He is 37. But looks like there's a lot of life left in that player to me. That's all I'm saying. Come on now. Come on now. Don't do that to me. Come on now. Be good to Big Daddy. The Bills can't use him. Maybe the Jets. Can the Cincinnati Bengals use a Fitzpatrick? Can the Jaguars, Titans, not really. Broncos, I'm thinking maybe. I'm thinking there's some teams that could use some Fitz magic. I'm just saying. Looks like Washington's going with that kid now, but maybe they could use some Fitz magic. Could the Minnesota Vikings use some Fitz magic? Nah, they're not going to do that. They've got a quarterback. Could the Carolina Panthers use some Fitz magic? I'm just asking questions. Morty Vickers says he could fit in at the Bears or the Titans. You think with the Bears? You think they won't just stick with Foles? Dolores Colbert says Steph can't get into chat room. Can you check for her? I don't know why she can't get in here. Oh, made it back. Dumb phone. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, guys, I don't. You think I would ever keep Stephanie Lindley out of our chat room? Nope, never would happen. Never could, never would, never gonna. Top of the 7th, one down. Looks like a fly ball to short left, and there it is. 2 down now. So anyway, I think that's about all I got, unless you guys want me to check on some. Oh, I got to check on a Thursday game, as was requested by Mr. Morty Vickers. I got to check on that Thursday game. That's what I got to do. Thinking about play style. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Morty. And who knows? Isn't Foles on a 1-year deal there? He could go somewhere else. I don't know that he necessarily would, but the Bears might want to deal him if they could get enough for him. Who knows? Who knows? Let me see the schedule here for the Nuffle. I'm looking at the Nuffle schedule right now. Tomorrow. Oops, that's last week. I'm not seeing a Thursday night game for this week. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I am. Hold on. Sorry, kids. Sometimes Tom ain't that smart. I was born ignorant, and I've been losing ground ever since. Come on. All right. Tomorrow night, Atlanta at Carolina. That's a toughie. That is a toughie. I know who I want to go through. Let me, Thursday, get that pick in. Thursday is a game changer for the week. Morty says next year we're going to join a Pick'ems league. That's good. It's all right by me. All right. Come on. You're rocking. So the Panthers are 3-4. All right. I'm going to go out on a limb. Look, I think the Falcons are just going to fold, or they're going to be so ticked off by that last loss that they're going to come on like a house of fire. McCaffrey, they said, was practicing again. If McCaffrey plays, I'm going to Carolina. If he doesn't play, give me Atlanta. How about that? There's my pick. I don't know that he was going to be back. I did see something in the wire about him. Come on now. About him starting to practice again, but I don't know that means he's back. Packers relief, oft injured. Okay, McCaffrey will not be back for 21 days. I think McCaffrey's incredible. I really like him. Carolina Panthers on Tuesday, that's today if you do the math, designated Christian McCaffrey to return from injured reserve, beginning a 21-day window for the running back to do so. McCaffrey was wearing a helmet and a black jersey a day after wearing a red jersey, which meant he was a non-participant. Said he would have to go through a full practice on Tuesday or Wednesday for the team to consider activate him off injured reserve for Thursday night's game against Atlanta. That would be left up to the team doctors. Rule said Tuesday remains hopeful McCaffrey can play against the Falcons. I don't know. Man. They said he wouldn't rush him back. They won 3 in a row, lost 2 in a row now. So anyway, I'll stick by my McCaffrey bellwether. If he plays, Carolina wins. If he doesn't, Atlanta wins. Stephanie Lilly says, going to Carolina in my mind, and I'm going to Carolina in my mind. James Taylor. Morty Vicker says, that's a home pick for me. Both teams are sus, though. Morty Vicker says, who's home? Carolina. Stephanie Lindley says, singing James Taylor. That's what I thought it was. Anyway, well, kids, I got to tell you, there's still some baseball to watch. I want to sit back, relax, and watch it. I'm sure you do, too. Thank you for being here in our YouTube chat room. Morty Vicker, Rosie Williams, Dolores Colbert, and Stephanie Lindley. You guys are the best. Morty Vicker says, okay, Tom, I'll roll with you. Yeah, I don't know if he'll be back or not. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, you guys are the best. If it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be a show. And I really appreciate you guys being here each and every night. Tomorrow night, of course, remember, I'll be doing a fabulous show where I'm on a panel. Then I'll be doing a very special episode of the Tom Gulley Show After Dark. And then it'll remain to be seen whether I do a sports show, depending on how late it is. Just so much. But there, rest assured, will be a show Friday night. So, with all that in mind, I'm hoping each one of you. Oh, Marty Vick says, I'm with you, Tom. Let's go, Doyers. Great show. Thanks, bud, for all your time. See you tomorrow. Right back at you. And so, just hoping for good night and good sports.